Good Thursday morning. Welcome to Ice Age TV. And what are we doing today? Boy, if you're following my channel, you kind of probably know what I'm doing today. But come on, pups. It's so funny. On one of my favorite forums, early this morning, I said, Good Friday morning. Yeah, it wasn't until like an hour later. I went back in my forum, like, it ain't Friday, it's Thursday. Good Lord. I mean, wow. Time, right? How time passes us. And you know what's incredible? This is Labor Day weekend. And if you're following my channel, you watched me spend the good portion of yesterday evening load up my truck and trailer. Look at that. Indian Roadmaster. I gotta, you know what? I don't have one anymore. I gotta change that front tag. I sold it. Gotta make it the Indian Pursuit motorcycle. I'm sure some are like, you're talking about this Pursuit. What the hell does this thing look like? Yeah, I showed it yesterday, but whatever. I get it. So yeah, it's the adventurous Labor Day weekend, which I'm still in the process of loading up my truck and trailer, which that's not done. Gotta work. Yeah, I do work. Some I'm sure you're like, yeah, that guy, when's that guy ever work? Yeah. So, what's the theme today, right? Besides pack up the truck and trailer and head to Tennessee. Yeah, it's definitely the theme. What conversations do we have, right? Got the Toyota out here, and wife's gonna drive the Ranger. Nothing's plugged in, and that's something. Usually when I'd walk in here, something would be plugged in. And here now, nothing's plugged in. The times have changed already. So anyway, just thought I'd start the morning off and continue the adventures of getting my truck and trailer all set up, which, yeah, some people like, yeah, whatever. And talk about how this summer, to me, it's just crazy, but it's incredible, and it's cool. If you're kind of seeing this here, I got a long sleeve shirt on today. It's hard to believe, for me as an individual, it's truly hard to believe that summer, Labor Day up north, Labor Day weekend's the weekend of it's pretty much summer's over. Just incredible how it's so true how life is but a vapor. All right, come on, puppies. Got to get in the office. I mean, I just love this 4Runner. This 4Runner came from Carvana. And just wow. I found this. And I'm really happy with it. Found the Gold Rush, which I think this was a great, great find. Even the Carvana guy was like, I think we sold this for, we didn't get it. We sold this too cheap. I mean, the guys already, I could see us coming back down the road and offering you a lot of money for this thing. We buy it back. And he was like, I'd just be so disappointed that we're buying it back. We're paying you a ton of money. Don't take it the wrong way. It's all good. All right, come on, pups. Come on, pupper. Get up here. All the troublemakers. Yeah, so it's in the office. Get the day going. Yeah, it's interesting. I go by all my buddies. I've got, I'm such the car, motorcycle addicted guy that, I like to go by and see my buddies that work at these dealerships and kind of get the lowdowns going on. So yesterday, I went by a place called Motorcycles of Dulles. It's down here in the Northern Virginia area. And the reason I went by is because I've sold 2 of my Indian motorcycles to get that Challenger Elite Series. And I bought all the add-on stuff. If anybody's a person that buys cars or buys anything, you go to the dealership, it turns into, they want you to buy extended warranty. They want you to buy service contract. They want you to buy the wheel and tire package and windshield. And they want you to buy the gap insurance. So your $20,000 motorcycle, and I shouldn't say windshield service on a motorcycle, but wheel and tire. So here's the irony. With the you can be buying a $20,000 motorcycle, it could be 25 grand by the time you add all those things on. And you think I'm embellishing? No, I'm not. How do I know? And for me, I try to help others out. So anyway, I bought 2 Indian motorcycles down there at Dulles, Motorcycles at Dulles, back in the fall of 2019. So here's the thing that people don't know about me is, if you look at my wall here, I'll show you. I truly really was never a Harley guy growing up. I was a Yamaha, Honda guy, but Harley Davidson, I started buying Harleys 10 years ago. And, I like the Harley Davidson product. I still have one, but I've owned a bunch of those. And I always had my eye on the Indian, but, wasn't fixated on it. But just kind of always, kept my sights on it and kind of watched it. So, for me, it took about 4 years maybe for me to kind of finally feel like I'd buy an Indian motorcycle, because if you know anything about the history of Indians gone broke numerous times. Indians started, and then Harley Davidson came along, and it's a brutal battle. I was talking about the other day that the devious things we do to individuals and businesses to satisfy oneself. That's how mankind is. As mankind, we're just ruthless. We're not nice. It's all about me, not so much about you. It's all about my bigger bank account than yours, and so in business, it's even worse. So I'm just looking up because it's kind of chilly in here, and I got my fan on. I'm like, man, I'm glad I did my pullover shirt this morning because it's a cool morning. But it's that time of year where it's just a cool time of year where it starts changing. And if you grew up in that environment, it just kind of brings you back to being a kid again, if you kind of know what I mean. Makes you think about, it's going back to school, summer's coming to an end. And so anyways, what I'm talking about here is the Indian product wasn't really stuck in my head. It was more, the Yamaha, Honda, and then eventually Harley Davidson. And so it really took me a long time to come to closure. People watch my YouTube channel, and I talk about this, that I'm the guy, it's just, if you look at my inventory of cars, you would just shake your head. Because if you could see the before and after pictures, you go to 2017, 18, 19, you would see a Ford Raptor. You'd see a Ford F-250. You'd see a Ford F-450. You'd see a Dodge Challenger. You'd see a Dodge Charger. And then you can fast forward and look at the same picture, and you're going to kind of see the same theme of vehicles, but they're just different colors and, different model years. So what is that all about? Just stop and think about that. If you're watching my channel, you have to say, this is crazy. This guy had a 2018 Raptor, and he sells it, and then a year later, he has a 2018 Raptor again. But it's not white, it's silver. This guy had a red Charger Hellcat, and he sells it, and then a year later, he's got a white Charger Hellcat. This guy had a plum crazy Challenger Hellcat, and then a year or 2 years later, he's got a red one, and now the guy's got a gold one. But he doesn't, so it's incredible on how, for me as an individual, I get excited about buying and selling cars, and in essence, I kind of have the same thing. Excuse me. And at the end of the day, I have the same, basically theme of a vehicle. Just like the Mustangs. Have you seen me Mustangs I've purchased and sold? If you step back and look at this, my first official Mustang was a GT350. And that was a used 2000, I think, 17, maybe even 18, I can't remember, the Kona Blue. And I kept a very short time frame. I turned it in, and I bought an Orange Fury GT PP1 Performance Package 1 level. All right. So then, eventually, let's see. I buy a GT 500. Okay. And then I buy a Mach 1. And then the Mach, well, no, I buy the Bullet. I bought the Bullet. And so then the GT500, I let that go, sadly. And then I buy another GT350 again, which the first one I just didn't really like. But yet I buy another one. And then recently, well, then after that, I buy my GT500 back. And then the following year, this past February, sadly, I lost my Bullet. And then a month later, I buy another Mustang. It's a Mach 1. And then you fast forward now, and I just sold my Mach 1, and I bought our GT500. So it's incredible how you just stop and look at me and how I just kind of sell like Tacomas. I sold so many Toyota Tacomas and just turned around and bought another Toyota Tacoma. Yeah, I hear you. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't get me wrong. It would be a different model year, it'd be a different paint package, a different, maybe better, upgraded. So there were variables to those things, and sometimes not so much. It was just different, really just a different color car. So, you say, well, why are you talking all about this? Well, I'm just trying to lead up to the pursuit. My pursuit of happiness, isn't that usually what you think about when you talk about pursuit, the definition pursuit, what follows that word after it? Usually it's, I'm in the pursuit of happiness, I'm not in the pursuit of sorrows. So it just doesn't end. And what happens is I finagle things behind the scenes that play out in the end that sometimes you have to scratch your head and that just doesn't make any sense. Here's the kid. I need her help. So hold on. Oh, when the phone calls come in, it just breaks the whole thought process. So anyway, this weekend's adventures is about motorcycles. And, kind of following up here, Indian was not my brand of motorcycle I would buy years ago. I didn't think they'd be around. I didn't think the infrastructure would be around. And I didn't know if the bikes was really that radically different. So it wasn't until actually September of 2018 I rode a Indian Chieftain. No, I was an Indian Chieftain. I think it was an Indian Roadmaster. Yeah, it was a Roadmaster. Indian Roadmaster. And I just really liked it. I actually really liked the bike. It's a really good looking bike. But at the same time, I still had little reservations. So believe it or not, this is truthful. I actually, in my opinion, they'll disagree because they're just who we are. No, that wasn't your idea. I was a person pushing for an Indian dealer at the Motorcycles of Dulles. I know the owners personally, and the Indian dealership in Winchester, Virginia, a guy tried to start was just a total. The guy didn't know what he was doing, so I never made it. So I watched that in 2015, 16 go to the ground, and then there was no Indian dealership local. And I really told the Motorcycle Dulles owners, you should get that brand. And sure enough, eventually they got that brand. But you'd ask them whose idea that was, and they'd be like, oh, that was our idea. Yeah, whatever. So, but if it didn't do well, they'd be going, oh, yeah, the Ice Age guy, that's all his fault. Looking for my kid. He said, help me do some work out here in the shop for a little bit. So anyways, I may have to cut it short here in a second. So for me, it wasn't until the September 2019 that the brand new Roadmaster Harley Davidson lookalike came to market, and I wanted that. So I bought my first, Indian motorcycle in September 2019, and sadly, it really made me step back and reevaluate my passion for my Harleys, because the Indian motorcycle is just such a different motorcycle. It really is. And this isn't the bash of the Harley Davidson, but at the same time, it's the reality of what I experienced. And keep in mind, I had the Harley Davidson CVOs. I had a 2018 Harley Davidson CVO Road Glide, and I had a Harley Davidson 2017 Limited, and that's the Tour Pack edition setup. So I had two CVO Harleys, in the latest, greatest 117 motor on the 2018 Road Glide, which beautiful bike. It was called like the dark earth color. So for me, the buying my first Indian made me step back and reevaluate my Harleys. And what people don't know is on the Indian motorcycle, when you take the motorcycle off the stand, basically meaning you put the kickstand up and you put the bike, you ride it up so you can sit on it and ride it. It's very easy to come off the kickstand. So the weight of the bike isn't felt as much as the Harley. The Harley is truly more of like, ugh, to get the bike up. The Indian, no, it's not. And then on the Indian motorcycle, it feels more balanced. So you're like when you're in low speeds in parking lots and tight areas, the Indian just feels nimble and balanced. I'm watching my kid on my video camera because she's got a project to do and she's doing it. So anyways, so those are the first two things that I saw. Then actually riding the motorcycle, there's more body. There's more body position room, so that you're comfortable. Your arms actually extend out further from your shoulders, meaning it's like a little wider handlebar setup, and then your seat posture and your legs is roomier. You're not as cramped. So there's another thing. Then I noticed the ride. The ride on the Indian is just like smooth as silk because it actually has a longer wheelbase, but it has a smaller rear tire than the Harley, and I truly thought that would be worse, but it's not. The Indian is such a smooth ride going down the road with that little longer suspension and still a smaller tire in the back. And then you have the engine noise. So on the Harleys are known for the engine noise and the vibration. The Indian sounds like a sewing machine. That engine of that Indian sound, I'm talking about the air-cooled 116 or 111, Indian motorcycle engine that I've been exposed to. I have the 116s, air-cooled. These are the Chieftain series, not the Challenger. Challenger series is liquid-cooled, a whole different motor. So I'm talking about comparison of air-cooled, V-twin air-cooled. The V-twin air-cooled is going to be the Roadmaster, Chieftain, Springfield, to all the Harley motorcycles. So going on the road, the engine just sings on the Indian as you go on the road. The Harley, it sounds like the upper valve train's going to maybe come apart. I mean, not to be critical, but yeah, it has that type of noise to it. When you're at a signal or you're stopped on the bike, the Harley Davidson just shakes. The bike shakes. The handlebars shake. The Indian doesn't do that. When you're going down the road in the Indian with the radio, it sounds like you're sitting in your car. You can hear the Indian. I've got hearing aids, and I've got a helmet on, and I can hear that Indian's radio, borderline crystal clear at highway speeds. On the Harley radio system is just, in my opinion, terrible. You can't hear it. When you hear the Harley Davidson guy roll up to you at the stoplight with the thing blaring beyond blaring, there's a reason for that. It isn't because the guy's trying to impress you with his music. It's because you can't hear it. It's not a good system. So here's the thing. Now anybody watching my YouTube channel, it's a Harley Davidson person, they're going to be like, oh, you just have totally trashed your Harley Davidson. I'm just sharing with you my own experiences. The Indian that borderline, for the most part, lost my passion for the CVOs of Harley Davidson, where I end up selling all my Harleys. And I end up buying another Indian. So my first one was September, the Roadmaster Dark Horse, which looks like a Harley Davidson. Wow, hey, you buy things that look the same. And then the Challenger I picked up, I think, in early November, I think. So that's 2019. You're probably saying, well, this conversation started all about, these add-ons. Well, okay. So, but I just want to give you a background that, I was never an Indian guy per se, even though that was my dad's first road motorcycle when he was a very young guy, was an Indian Chieftain. So, what I'm going back here to is when I bought my motorcycles, I added a bunch of add-ons, and yesterday, actually requested for refunds. So the way add-ons work in motorcycles, when you have a motorcycle and you finance it and you add all those things on, once the loan's paid off, they prorate back that all those add-ons. So if you had $5,000 of add-ons and you've owned the bike for 2 years, then you probably have 65%, maybe 70% left of prorated value. So for me, conservative number, I've got $3,000 coming back per motorcycle on those 2 motorcycles that were part of the deal. So technically, I have like $6,000 that should be given back to me to, for the monies that I was paying on that was buried into the motorcycle, which the value what they paid at the dealership for them to buy them from. So, so anyways, so I went by there yesterday because I was really hoping they'd say, hey, here's your check. And okay, so what's that all about? Well, now I've got extra spending money to go maybe buy another bike. But of course, no, they don't have it, and I know it takes a little time, but whatever. And that's fine. So I was just kind of hanging out at the dealership, talking to my buddies. And what's interesting is they're just the same old story. Inventory, no inventory. Now you have inventory. It's used motorcycles. They cannot get the motorcycles that they want. Okay, so that's a huge problem that they're getting motorcycles, but they're not, for the area I live in, it's a very rich area, they're not getting the maxed out package motorcycles. This is the BMW line. BMW line apparently can't get them the product they want, so that's challenging. And then Triumph's doing a pretty good job, even though the Triumph Tiger new 1200 is having issues. So that's just a little heads up for anybody out there that's thinking about the new Tiger. Apparently, it's the brand new model, and as everybody knows, when you're the first to buy a brand new redesigned model, it's nothing radical. It's emission related, which so I wouldn't want to scare anybody away from buying one, but just be aware that if you buy a new Tiger 1200, apparently the European emissions, the American emissions, I think the computer system's confused or whatever. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm the guy working on them. So that's a little challenging for them. And then the Indian side, yeah, you're talking to a guy that back in February ordered the new Pursuit Indian, which I showed you yesterday, and I can do that again. All right, so this here is the new Indian. It's an Indian Challenger. So what I already own, that Indian Challenger Elite series you saw my video on. And I explained this yesterday, but if nobody's watched that video, just kind of keep the information going. So this is a 2022 brand new release product that was released last fall, about a year ago. It was released. And what's different about this motorcycle is it's got the Tour Pack, so here you have the Tour Pack. It has a heated and cooled seat, new technology. It has heated grips, which that's nice. So the heated seat and the heated grips for the cooler, months, fall, early winter, late winter, springtime riding is really nice. It's got the nice passenger comfort seat with speakers. It's got the Tour Pack, which, you can, I'll flip you another picture here for you. It's got the Tour Pack to put extra gear in. It's got a little top rack. There's your saddlebags, which is the same Challenger. Then it has your lowers. So down here, this is where it keeps your legs and your feet warm in the colder months. And it also has vents. These things open up so that you get airflow through in the warmer months. And then you have the bigger windscreen on the bike. If you look here, so this has a bigger windscreen. And, so this is really what's going on with Indian. This is the Road Glide copycat. So Harley-Davidson has this same looking style bike, but for me, it's not as comfortable. That's the reality is to me, Indian has a better riding, feeling motorcycle. And, and for all Harley guys out there, there's a ton of people out there that will be like, no way. And that's fine. I'd say it all the time. That's great. If you love your Harley, that's great. I mean, I think that's fantastic. It isn't me to be critical of you, of your motorcycle. It's me for what I'm in pursuit of my happiness, right? Pursuit. See here? So this motorcycle is a hot item. And this motorcycle came in last week, and they're just waiting for me to come back down to make my decision to see if I take this motorcycle. So that's why you're seeing me load up my motorcycle. This is why, you saw my video last night of me. I'm just at the age in life where for the moment, I'm like, I just don't want all this damn debt. I want to really shed debt. I want to get rid of a lot of obligations. And so that's why I'm on the page. Hey, if I can get rid of 2 bikes for 1 bike, I'm interested. If I can't, this is no lie. I had like 10 motorcycles. If you go back like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I had like 10 motorcycles. I'm not embellishing. 2 Honda Gold Wings, the Tour, the non-Tour, BMW R1250 GS, the Triumph Tiger 1200. That's 4 bikes. CVO Harley, that's 5 bikes. The Indian Challenger, 6 bikes. The Dark Horse Roadmaster, 7 bikes. The Harley-Davidson CVO Limited, 8 bikes. So I had 8 street motorcycles, not including my RM 450. And so that was 9 bikes. And then my daughter had, so it's just too many bikes. You know what and here's the thing though, never enough motorcycles, but when you're carrying debt on them, too many motorcycles. If you're the guy that's just buying them outright and then a few years later you buy another one, there's so many people out there that have 10, 20, 30 motorcycles, but that's over 20, 30 years. These are people that bought one, they never sold it. Then down the road, they buy another one. They never sell it. For me, I'm buying the latest, greatest stuff and financing it. It's just too much debt, too much, obligation. So that's the whole point. That right now, my Indian Challenger Elite Series has so satisfied me on, the motorcycle that do I really need a touring edition? And part of me is like, it'd be nice to have the touring edition because for the cooler months, those little features I showed you, the heated seat, heated grips, the lowers, the rear tour pack, it just gives the bike that much more comfort on cooler days. And if I want to put something in the back of the bike, that back tour pack is a really nice, secure comfort area to be riding in the back of a motorcycle. So, the way I am, I could possibly fall in love with that pursuit so much that I would let the Challenger go down the road. I mean, I don't think that would happen, but with me, who knows? And my Chieftain Elite Series, such a badass bike, I can't see myself doing that. I bought that for my birthday and drove way up to Pennsylvania. You'll see a video if you thumb through all my freaking videos of me buying that during the pandemic. And that was a pretty cool adventure. I was actually 2021, February. I got that bike. And that's just a really nice bike, really nice exhaust. The Challenger, to me, can't get that exhaust note because it's a liquid-cooled engine. That air-cooled engine is just a whole different note. So another thing is, with the new Pursuit, I let go of the Roadmaster. So I had a brand new Dark Horse Roadmaster that I let go of. And that was my first Indian I ever bought. And it's my avatar on my YouTube channel. And I really kind of thought, that is something I can't let go. But then I really wanted that Challenger Elite Series. And I'm just to the point of life and age where it's like, you got to give something up. You can't continue this lifestyle of where you just keep on adding things. And that's what I did. I mean, the reason I had so many cars was because I couldn't let go of the other car to get another car. And so I was just able to continue to add another car and add another truck, add another SUV, add another car. And that's the dangers. You get older, you make a good amount of money and make a good living, where you have to discipline yourself and say, you got to get rid of something. You have to get something up. You just can't keep on adding another toy and another toy. And that's what I did. That's what I did starting back in like 2017, 18. I just started adding another car, another motorcycle. And eventually, when the pandemic came along, it's like, oh, here we go. Overnight. So, stop and think about that for a second. For everybody here that's, listening to the news, which I just turn the freaking news off. I mean, turn the TV off. Turn it off. It's the worst. It's the hate. Hate, 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 hate. It's all it is all day long. Hate, 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 hate. I don't care which side of the party you're on. Everybody should blame. With one person in the office, hate, 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 hate. Another person in the office, hate, 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 hate. It's ridiculous. It's sickening, the brainwashing of people that are being brainwashed by big corporations and the technocrats running this country. The guy sitting downtown D.C. is not running the country. It's the technocrats. It's the big media. It's big business. Those are the guys running the country. You're kidding yourself to go argue about a guy against another guy. It's beyond believable. It's those people don't run it. They don't run it. They don't run it. Sorry. You have congressmen. You have senators. You have a lot of, constituents. I mean, you can do more than you think you can do. But anyways, not a political channel. So here it is, Labor Day weekend. And as you see, I'm on another adventure. And that's why I'm posting a video. Because for me, now it's a 2-for-1. Do I shed 2 bikes for 1? I should. But do I even buy the Pursuit? And if it wasn't for the Challenger experience of that new technology, of lean technology in it, and it's just a great riding bike. So that's what I was saying. My Roadmaster Dark Horse, I let that go because I already knew I had another item, another motorcycle in the works coming down the pipeline for me to have an option to buy. And so that's why I came to closure. There's no way I'm going to have 2 fully dressed touring bikes. And if it wasn't for the fact that Chieftain exhaust note on that bike, and that bike was just so nice, that I would be more tempted to let that go. Famous last words as you watch that play out. Oh, the guy let go of his Chieftain for the Pursuit. The only thing about that is the Chieftain's an air-cooled V-twin motor. That's the heritage of the bagger bikes. But for environmental EPA guidelines, that's changing. Harley's already experimented with that numerous times. So the liquid-cooled motors, that's where it's all going. The air-cooled V-twins are going to go away because of EPA guidelines. It's very difficult to get those things to comply because you need that cooler engine to be more, cleaner burning engine over an air-cooled engine. That you need that technology in a motor to make it so it's more stable. But so anyways, so that's what the conversations are. Just kind of give you more heads up what's going on. And, and what you learn too is the picture is something give you, that's the danger. So I'll be down there tomorrow and, in person is it a whole other animal. And many videos out there. And here's the thing about the Indian product. There's a lot of hate on Indian as well, just like anything. And there's a lot of people that tell you, I'd never buy Indian ever again. I've had so many problems with that thing. But at the same time, I've heard stories of other manufacturers of motorcycles, the same thing. But if you talk to some people, they'd be like, "I'll never own another Indian. I had a Harley, it was flawless, blah 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 blah. Whatever. I don't know." So the Pursuit, as I say, it's kind of the new product, but it's not. That's what I think. What people don't realize is this is not a new product. It's a Challenger. So this is an Indian Challenger is released in the fall of 2019. All Indian has done is put a tour pack on it and lowers on it. And besides the new lean technology and the ride command's been updated. But the architecture of the bike is now been around since 2019. And I've had the Indian Challenger and I have a second one. And, knock on wood, I've been fortunate as of yet where they've been, really good motorcycles. So, we shall see on how this all plays out. And but I think it's really cool is that seat is actually a cooled seat for the summer months riding. All right. Anyways, another my YouTube channel of my another adventurous day, and there'll be more coming to you as the day progresses, as I get the trailer packed up and get things in order and get my guys to work and figure out what's going on and blah blah blah. So I got to get back to that. What time is it? I don't even freaking know. I was guys telling you here on Tom Peeler Forum. Good Friday morning. Right? I mean, good Lord. So, anyways, appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for more video sharing time on my adventures of the 2-for-1 deal, the pursuit of happiness, or the total what the heck am I doing now, right? Stay tuned.